Hello and welcome to Quirky Cat Crafts. This is Sherry. All right, you guys, we got a lot going on tonight. Here we go. All right, so in the previous video, probably shouldn't have put them away yet, I mentioned that I was pulling out these yellow tiles because I felt like they were sticking out and were they were distracting. We'll go with that word. Distracted, that's what I am tonight. And then I also pulled out the gold on the butter yellow for the same reason. And we're just going to go with pink and green, and I may or may not still go with the opal. We'll have to see once it's set up. I also took out the script on the black clay with the gold mica powder. It was okay. It may go back in, but for right now it's pulled out. Okay. I also removed the dark pink music notes because I am creating a third embedded tile on the dark pink so that color will be my embedded pieces. Okay. And so we're going to embed the these word charms into that fuchsia pink clay. So I'll have a third tile in the pink. Okay, so that's going to be dark pink clay. I believe it's magenta pearl. It is magenta pearl. Okay, so that's one thing we're doing. The second thing we're doing is I am going to do a smaller ink and quill because there's a lot of open space on this. And so I want to do smaller, and I'm also going to do a smaller book. So these two are coming out, and they'll get used on a different project. And I'm going to do I think I'm just going to do this little stack of 4 books. I was looking at the one with the bird, but since it's just going to be black ink on the French pink clay, I think I'm just going to do this little stack of 4. Okay. And then this is my smaller inkwell with the quill. So I'm a little all over the place, but I'm getting it together, you guys, I promise. So see, it's smaller than this one, and it'll be easier to cut a perfect square around it. And then on the books, instead of this big one, it'll just be this little stack. Okay? You with me, you guys? Are you with me? Okay, so that's step 2. Step 3. I said I was going to do music notes in the French pink, and that would be my third French pink tile. So the first thing I thought of was I have a couple of sets where it's like a decorative treble clef with some, so I thought these might be cute. I'm not a fan of that one, but like the ones that are kind of curly and curvy, right? And then I had another set that had a couple of options as well. My concern is the small side of the box. And I'm looking at these, and they're awful big. I mean, they're pretty much the same size as these tiles. And because of the size, I've decided I'm not going to do these. If it was on like one big mosaic, it would work great. But on these where it's just the little sides, it's just going to be too much. So I eliminated those choices, although they are cute. And I like them a lot, but not on this project. So then I pulled out my my music notes basket. I'm actually going to get rid of this Recollections wood stamp just because, I don't know if you can see. Oh, I did have it right side up. It's got little numbers like 1, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, like that, 4, 5. It bugs me. I don't know why. It bugs me. And so I don't ever use this one. I mean, like there's sections I could cut out where it doesn't have the numbers, but and there's a lot of open space. And so I've just decided that one's going to go in my going away pile. Done. So I have this one that I use quite often. And so that is an option. That's what the dark pink ones were originally stamped on. I've also got this clear one. Wow, really? Come on. Which I've used it before, so it's really hard to see what it is, but maybe this side is a little better. So that's an option as well that I might try. We'll see. I also thought about I have these 3 where it's just the, what is that, quarter note, right? Where it's the heart at the bottom. But I'm leaning more towards this needs to be subtle for the music notes because it's not a music project. So, and I do have tons of sets where I just have individual notes where I could just do like a single music note. You know, like I just have that. And I have several in the clear stamp sets as well. And it would just be a single music note. But I'm really feeling like I need to do the sheet music. And get a better look at this one. And compare it to the size of this one. I'm probably going to try this one and see how it goes because the sheet music is smaller. And so this is essentially filler. I need it to be for small spaces. So I think we're going to try that one first and see how it stamps. Okay, and if it doesn't work, then we'll do this one. So that's part 3, and that's going to be on the French pink. Ouch. Garfield, dagnabbit. Okay. 4th thing. I took out these on the camouflage green. They're pretty, but I just don't feel like they're working with this project. I like a more subtle pattern on the green. And so these are going to get set aside, and I'm going to use them on a different project. Probably a St. Patrick's Day one or something. And I think I'm going to do some more on the camouflage green with this wood stamp. And I'm going to do gold ink. And we're going to see how this comes out. All right. So that's step 4. So, a lot going on tonight, you guys. And I'm wondering if I should do it as 4 separate videos. Like video 1, do the embedding of the charms. Video, well, that's not going to take that long. Yeah. I don't know. Do you guys like the long ones or do you prefer the shorter, quick videos? I don't know what to do. I think we're just going to go with it because this is just creating tiles to redo or complete or fill in or whatever. So I'm going to move these out of the way and go put them back on the rack. Hang on, you guys. Ouch, Garfield. Seriously, I just gave you 3 hours of lap time downstairs in the recliner. Go find something to do. Ornery. Okay, I need my cutting board. And we're just going to go. And do step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Okay, so these and this is going to be on the same color of clay. So those go together. This and then this. Okay. So, hi you guys. It's Saturday night / early Sunday morning. I'm going to check my camera because I think I can zoom in now. Oh, yeah. I will try to stay in the shot. I'm making no promises. How you guys doing? Did y'all have a good week? I had a hilarious day yesterday. And I say that sarcastically. It was a series of unfortunate events kind of day. So it started out great. For those of you that don't know, I'm a truck driver. I meet up with a driver. His name is Scott. He comes out of Indianapolis. I come out of Kansas City. Are you guys seeing this? This is why you have to really, really blend and condition your clay. Do you see that? That part right there? And that stripe right there? That's why you got to make sure you run it through your machine or roll it enough to get it well blended, well conditioned, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so on Fridays, generally, okay, during the week, Monday through Thursday, Scott picks up at a Home Depot, but they close early on Fridays. And so Friday, it's usually up in the air. We don't know what he's going to have for his load. And sometimes he has to go a fair distance to pick up a load. And that means he's going to get up there to St. Louis fairly late. But on this particular Friday, his load was already on the yard. On his yard there in Indianapolis. And what that means is that instead of getting up there to St. Louis between 11 and 11:30, he can get up there between like 9:30 and 10. And so I'm like, yes, let's run early. I'll be home by 2 or 3 in the morning and I can go play in my craft room before I go to bed. And that ended up not working out. So the first thing that happened was that the sensor in my truck for, it's called DEF. It's a like diesel enhancing fluid or something. It's supposed to reduce the emissions that the semis do. I don't know. And I don't know what it's made of. I've heard various rumors that it's made of like horse urine and chemicals. I don't know. Well, the sensor in that particular tank was apparently stuck. And so when I got in the truck, it said I had 3/4 of a tank of that. Which you have to have it. If you run out, your engine shuts down and you're not going anywhere until someone brings you some to put in your truck. But the sensor said I had a half tank. Good to go. No, I wasn't, because I hit a bump, and then all of a sudden the sensor said I was on empty, and I needed to refill it quickly. And I'm like, well, that stinks. So I had to call in to get an emergency fuel stop done. And went and did that. So that delayed me by about 30 minutes. And so I called to apologize to him. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm going to be later than I thought I was going to be. But it is what it is. So get that done. I get back on the highway. And then my onboard computer starts yelling at me again that I'm running out of available driving time for the week, which is 70 hours. And I'm like, well, no, I'm not, because I only do 5 days a week. And unless I'm doing 14-hour days every single day, which I hadn't been, I should not be running out of time. So I had to pull over and stop again to see what was happening. And it was showing that apparently when I went to log out the other day, on the onboard computer, and it froze up, so it didn't actually log me out. So it was showing me on duty for that entire time. And so I had to call them, customer service, so that we could, and I had actually seen that, and I had edited it, wow, corrected it in the system before I left, but apparently it didn't approve the edit either, so can't win for losing. And yeah, I'm in the shot. So I had to pull over and stop, and anytime you pull over and stop, it adds a minimum of 15 minutes to your day. So got that corrected, and then I'm lining up with the words, you guys. That's what I'm doing. I'm making sure that the word is going to be as straight as possible, centered. So I called Scott and told him what the second thing bad that had happened, and he said, well, it doesn't really matter. And I said, why? And he goes, because there was a cattle truck tipped over on the highway, and then another semi plowed into it, which means more than likely that there was some tailgating going on, because if you don't have time to stop your truck before hitting something in front of you, then you're not leaving enough space. So, which is why when you pass a truck, and if you come back over and then the truck immediately goes to the left lane, that means you came back over way too soon. Because we know how long it takes to get our trucks stopped, and if you slam on your brakes, we have to make sure we have enough room to stop so that we don't run over the back of you. Anyway, so that had, excuse me, the highway closed down. And they were redirecting everyone onto like a frontage road. And so basically he went from an ETA of about 9:30, and then it changed to, oh gosh, he didn't get there till like midnight. So it was just one of those days, but it was a Friday, so it didn't really matter. And then, of course, it rained the whole way there, the whole way back. So that was fun as well. So that was number one. Then I get back to the yard, and I go to feed the cats. And of course, midnight came out right away. But then I had a couple of very, very greedy, aggressive raccoons that were like, just really, I was yelling at them, like, no, you get back, get back, get back. And they kept coming at me. And then I saw, for those of you that watched the previous videos, the wounded raccoon. And the good news is he was mobile. He was walking, not well, but he was walking. So that means he's not paralyzed. And he was limping on the one leg that's definitely broken. But it looks like the other leg is operational. So I have hope that he'll heal himself, which is a good thing, because Wildlife Rescue is going to charge $300 just to come out. And then they were probably going to euthanize him anyway, which I thought was really kind of sad, because it's like, well, give him a chance. I thought that was the point of Wildlife Rescue, but anyway, so I wanted to make sure he got as much food as possible. And then two of the other, sometimes they come out cats, sometimes they don't. Their names are Shadow and Spooky. They're both black cats as well. They both showed up. And so now I felt like I didn't have enough food, because the raccoons, of course, were eating a lot of it as well. And then Midnight was being all, hold me, pet me, love me. And I'm like, okay. And I needed to go to the restroom really bad. So I drove my truck up to the fence that separates the employee parking from the truck parking. And I went and took my work backpack and my lunch bag and put those in my car. And then I always have dry food in the trunk, cat food. So I just filled up like a Walmart bag with like 5 or 6 scoops to take back there to give to the raccoons and the cats. And then I went to run inside to use the restroom at our terminal. And they've recently redone our terminal. So the first thing is that there's lights at the top of the building, but the light above the stairs was out. And then there's a decorative light that is like designed to light up the building so that it's like visible from the highway. So that light blinds you as soon as you come out the door. And then you're going into a concrete stairwell where it's dark. And the old staircase was 7 steps, but the new stairs that they have done are 8 steps. So I thought I was at the bottom, and I was not. So I did the 7 steps, and then I thought I was on the 7th step. I thought I was the last step, and it wasn't. And so I turned my ankle, and then my knee buckled, and then I did a complete face plant in the middle of the parking lot. And it was all wet and muddy because it's been raining. And as I said, they just did some renovating, so there's no grass right now. It's just dirt. And so when it rains, it's just like as the rain drains off, it's kind of taking away some of the dirt. So basically face planted in the mud and spilled the cat food everywhere. It was just, it was a mess, you guys. So I laid there for a few minutes, kind of just taking inventory. Sorry if my head's in the shot. You know, is anything broken? Am I okay? And a little sore, but I'm okay. And I couldn't decide if I was happy no one saw me fall or if I would have been happier if there had been someone there to help me up. And so then I went and put out the rest of the food for the cats and the raccoons. So, and then Midnight just wanted me to hold him and pet him, and he was all wet and muddy because it had been raining, and he likes to hide in the drain pipe for the parking lot and where it runs into the ravine, the drain off. And he lays in there, so he's all wet and muddy. But since now I was going to have to wash my sweatshirt anyway, and I just realized I got sidetracked and didn't finish that story. So when I went to go get the diesel enhancing fluid, it's a pump just like a fuel pump, but it doesn't have a splash guard on it. And so when it got to the top of the tank, it's supposed to turn itself off like the fuel pumps do, but this one was malfunctioning and it did not. So, and the hose is like spring loaded, so you have to stand there and hold it. You can't just stick it in the tank and walk away because it'll come out. So when it got to the top of the tank and it didn't shut off like it was supposed to, and so it splashed up and hit me right in the face. So all over my sweatshirt, all over my hair, and it's not a pleasant smell. And that's what I got to smell the whole night long, and it was just like, that's lovely, that's great, that's awesome. Not so much. So since I was going to have to wash my sweatshirt anyway, which I just washed last weekend, I wash it about once a month unless it needs more so, because it's just my work sweatshirt, and it's not going to stay clean. It gets dirty. Truck driving's a dirty job, so. But I basically just wash it once a month or so. But I just washed it, but now I had to wash it again. So since I had to wash it again, Midnight got to be up there in my arms, and I was using the sleeves of my sweatshirt to kind of dry him off and clean him up a little bit, and he was purring and happy. And one of these days I'm going to end up breaking the rules and bringing him home, you guys. I'm only supposed to have 2 animals because I rent. And the only reason I haven't is because of Opie. It took Opie 6 months to accept Garfield. And Opie is 19 years old. And I just don't want to rock his world any more than I already have with Garfield. But yeah, one of these days, I may end up bringing him home. I mean, I could bring him home and just keep him in my basement at Midnight. But I'm like, is that really a life for a cat? You know, to be in an unfinished basement. Because that's what Garfield was at for 6 months. Because Opie wasn't having it. It took a very long time. And I'm not going to just, throw the 2 of them in a room together and say, you guys work it out. That's not how I operate. So it was a very slow, cautious introduction. Anyway. So that was was my day yesterday. Fun times. So I mentioned it in another video, but the next project after this one is going to be polar bears for my niece's son's bedroom. So what would that be? Great nephews? Grandnephews? Great nephews. Akila and Asher. And so that's going to be the next project I do. So, for their bedroom. I still want to do my holiday gnome mosaic. I need a drink. Hold on, you guys. Talking too much. Holiday gnome mosaic set. That's still in the works, you guys. It is coming, I promise. So here we go. There's the word charms. So that's done. All right. Let's go ahead and do the green. And then we'll do the pink. Let's see how well I like this, and I might get another package of this green. And do I have another one over here? No. I do not. And this is Sculpey 3, so it's really sticky. Okay. Oh, that's not good. You guys, my craft room tour video, it just hit 7,000 views. I think that is so crazy. But I'm so glad that people are enjoying it. I've gotten a lot of compliments on the furniture, the oak furniture. Which is nice because I know a lot of people do just the white IKEA craft room furniture, but... And honestly, that was originally my plan. And then just one day I happened to be on Facebook Marketplace and I was looking for a computer desk. And that brought up one of these sets of the oak table with the matching bookcase. And then I just ran with it from there, so... Sticky. It is so sticky, you guys. Alright, that's good enough. Let's see where we're at. Still in the shot. Doing a good night. Doing a good night. Having a good night tonight. Golly gee Lee. I'm a hot mess. Okay, so this is just Brilliance Galaxy Gold. And usually I like to look for archival or permanent, of which this does not say it's archival or permanent, but I haven't had any issues with it smudging or smearing, so all right. Oh my God, it's so sticky. Let's bring this in. I don't know how this is going to stamp out. We're going to find out. And then I'm just going to cut this into strips before I bake it. So here we go. Wow. It's like there's no gold ink at all, you guys. None at all. That is crazy. What is happening? Is my gold ink pad freaking dried up? I don't have another one. Look at that. Wow. I'm having a day, you guys, for sure. I mean, it makes a good impression, but I could try doing an impression and doing gold mica powders with it. I guess we could try that. The only other option I have is I have this ink pad that's copper. But since I'm doing gold, other gold things, I don't think that would work. I'm really upset. Alright, so we might try, apparently I need to order another gold ink pad. So let's just see if we get a good straight impression. It's very upsetting. Alright, I'm going to set aside the green for now. I might have to work on something later, because that's not happening. Let's just get our pink ones done and get those in the oven. I actually was digging through my drawer and I found that I had 2 packages of this clay open. Let's redo our book and inkwell and do our sheet music and see how that comes out. All right. Oh, my finger. I don't know, you guys. I've been not looking into, but I just joined a Facebook group that is like Kansas City Crafters or something like that. And, you know, so they're constantly posting about various craft shows happening in different areas. And I've never done a craft show. You know, I would need to have several things in place before I would feel like I was ready for that. I would need to have a valid, viable business page, even if it's just a Facebook business page, which my Quirky Cat Crafts page, I inadvertently hit a button, and now it's turned into a business page, whether I like it or not, and I can't figure out how to undo it. So I was like, well, I guess I'll just run with that. And, but I haven't done anything else with it, and I really need to get on that. And then I need to have some kind of a business card kind of deal, which means I also need a logo, which I haven't designed yet. So I need a logo for my Quirky Cat Crafts so that I can do business cards and flyers and things. I want to set up like an order form kind of thing where like I list, you know, various themes, and then maybe have like pictures of the different clay colors, and so that the customer can pick, you know, 3 clay colors and a theme, and then if they want it personalized, and I'll run with it. I'm not going to get real specific, just give me the theme and give me the colors, And then you got to trust my artistic ability. That's pretty much how I feel about it. So, and then I need a way to take payments with credit card because I'm not going to be a, oh no, cash only, you know, kind of person. And that's going to cost money that I don't have right now. And, so a lot of steps involved, and I really need to just kind of make a list of steps I need to do to get to that point where I would be ready to participate in a craft show at some point in the future, maybe next year. And then, of course, I also would need to have a good stockpile of ready-made mosaics. So I'll be bringing you guys along for that. Yeah, lots of stuff in my head. These are things I think about as I'm driving down the highway. So, all right. So we got books and ink and quill. So let's go ahead and get those stamped. Yep, good. Baby wipe. So, I mean, you know, as a truck driver, I just don't have a lot of free time right now. I mean, at some point when I retire from driving, I'll have a lot more time to do it, but that's a long ways down the road. But, you know, right now it's like, you know, best case scenario. Let's say I get 1 or 2 projects done every single weekend. You know, even thinking positive, 2 projects a weekend is only 8 a month. And that's only, what, 72 for the year? And is that enough? I don't know. It might be. I don't know. Maybe nobody will buy my stuff. You know, and I don't have any kind of a, like, customer base built up or anything like that. Right now, it's not really, I mean, I'd like for it to make money, but it's not a necessity. So I just kind of, just playing, and I still feel like I'm learning, you guys. I mean, really. So, just kind of learning as I go and bringing you guys along for the ride, so. So, I don't know. Just had a lot of random thoughts in my head here lately. And I told Garfield to go find something to do. He's up in the window and he's snoring. No. So do I want to line it up with that, or do I line it up with that? I line it up with this. Sorry, I know my head's in there. I feel like that's going to be a crooked pile of books. I don't know. So, I don't know. Do any of you guys do, like, craft shows and stuff? Are they worth the time? Worth the effort? The buttons that I use, Dress It Up, came out with 2 new Disney themes. Stitch from Lilo and Stitch and Alice in Wonderland. And again, it specifically says you cannot use... Why does that look crooked to me, you guys? I don't care. It's good enough. Gonna bake it. Oops. You know, and then it specifically says that you can't use for resale unless you get permission from Disney. And I've heard they charge you an arm and a leg for that, to give you licensing permission. I might look into it. I feel like those little like mini Disney banks would sell like crazy, but you guys, I am seriously, this isn't going to work. I don't think I'm going to be able to save this one. Which means I might be redoing the book too, because see, I wasn't thinking that, you know, the inkwell needs to be sitting flat. Ah, well, maybe I might be able to save this one. Seriously? Come on, hands. Get it together. No, I might actually be able to make this work. Yeah, we're okay. Little minor panic, but we're good. There we go. Ink and quill. Okay, and we're going to re-roll this and do some sheet music. So, I really wanted to use those bigger stamps, but it's not a music project. I'm not a musical person. I mean, I like music, but it's not like it's a big part of my life or anything, so I felt like it was a bit much. I don't know. This seemed like it was a good idea, and now I'm having all kinds of issues, you guys. I mean, I'm always having issues, but anyway. And look, there's some green. And then when I got home, I had just a single package of a steak in my freezer, which I meant to take out to defrost before I went to bed. And I forgot because of, you know, face planting in the mud and all that. So then I was like, well, I'll take it out and make it for tomorrow, and I'll just do leftovers tonight. And then I actually got in my fridge, and I realized I had way more leftovers than what I thought I did. So I was like, well, never mind. It's going to be a leftovers weekend. Get my fridge cleaned out. So I had some leftover beef tips with gravy and white rice for my dinner. I love the souffle clay. All right, let's see how this one comes out. I'm scraping, trying to scrape old double-sided tape off my acrylic block because it's not sticky anymore. So that I can put new double-sided tape. Come on. So, yep. So I got my laundry done. I need to do a little bit of straightening up in my kitchen. And gather my trash. Oops. Wow. You guys, I am so sorry. Somebody last week, one of my neighbors, either accidentally or on purpose, took my rolling trash can. Which, where I live, for whatever reason, you have to supply your own. Where I used to live, the trash removal place supplied it. They gave everybody one of those rolling dumpsters with the wheels. But here you got to supply your own. And I've been here 4 years, and I've bought 4 cans because mine keep disappearing. And, you know, for a decent one, they're like $40, $50 each. So I'm like, that's it. I'm not buying anymore. I was trying to be a good neighbor so that the raccoons and the possums and the coyotes don't drag my trash all over the neighborhood. But, you know, I put out on our Facebook page, I said, if, you know, whoever took my trash can, please return it. And it hasn't been returned. So there will be no trash cans this week. All right, let's see how this stamps out. I seem to remember it didn't stamp well the last time I used it. For whatever reason. All right, let's see how it did. Some areas good, some areas not so good. But I can trim away the areas that didn't work so well. Give us a good clean. And then it can dry while I'm cutting that down, and then I'm going to do another one. So I wanted to ask you guys too. Did you guys enjoy my clear stamp storage? God bless America. And share videos? Was it boring? Was it interesting? Was it inspiring? And if you want to see my wood mounted stamps, that I can do a series of videos on that as well. So if that's something you guys might want to see, let me know. Always happy to do it. Only takes one person that says yes, please, and then I will go for it. Because I figure if people don't want to see it, then they just won't watch it. So, all right. I think on this one, we're just going to do each individual. Rose, my head's going to be in there, I know. I'm sorry, you guys. All right, let's see what we got here. I don't see any reason why I can't just go right on these lines. I feel like this one is awful boring. Not a whole lot going on. But we'll just bake it. Can always cut it down. Because remember, this is souffle. Cuts really easy. I probably should do one and just bake it as an entire sheet. Because I can cut it later. Sorry, you guys. Yeah, this one didn't stamp out very well. So it's just going to be some... I mean, I'll still bake the ones that are but... No, I won't. Oops. Probably could have rolled this thinner. It's all right. I don't know. Do you guys really need to see me cutting out all the rest of this, or should I let you go? I think I'm probably going to let you go. I think I've said everything I need to say. So I'm going to get these in the oven, and when I come back next time, and then we'll work on relaying out the layouts. Relaying out the... Is that grammatically correct? I'm not sure. So, anyway, so this is where we're at right now. So I'm going to continue doing this and figure out something to do with that camouflage green. And then when I come back next time after they're baked, we'll work on solidifying the layout. I did decide for sure I'm going to paint the boxes gold. So, but I don't think you guys need to see that either. So maybe I'll get that done tonight. All right, you guys, that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching.